So can I count on you? One last time?
All right, kid. Let's go do it. One last time.
Welcome back to day 21 of 50 Days of Drake. We are talking about the documentary that Naughty Dog made for the making of Uncharted 4. There's so many cool things in this. I like getting like the inside scoop and all this. I think it's pretty awesome. And then we get to see our characters in action, in the mocap and everything, which is really cool. And I'm gonna start playing the video, and then we could talk about what's going on, because we are getting so close. We are almost at 20 days. We are 3 weeks away actually today. So let's get started on this video and see what it's all about.
If you'd said to me 15 or 20 years ago, you're going to get your most success in your entire career.
How cool would it be to do this?
Game. Yeah, right.
That would be like my dream come true.
And I had no idea, none of us had any idea what we were beginning.
Could you imagine putting on that suit? Being in a video game? How fucking awesome would that be? Like, they're just doing it with their imagination. It's like boggles my mind.
A lot of younger people at the studio.
Most of us, when we started in this industry, we started in our early 20s. And when we started, every hero, every character was in their early 20s. And as we get older as developers,
Drake is aging with us. That's true.
Games and in the art,
I like how they did that, though.
The mentalities and the things that the people who make the art think about. And in this case, we've definitely had a long time to grow up while we're making Uncharted, and it seemed only fitting for Drake to continue to grow in that sense.
It adds another element to the story that we can play with. Our characters haven't been fixed or frozen in time.
I mean, he looks like a kid in one because of the smoothness of the textures.
Yes, he does. It's very mannequin-like.
Really good, right? And as we got better and as the platforms got better, you can see him not only get more complex and more sophisticated, but he also is aging. We're showing more of the.
But he looks good, though. He looks good.
The subtlety of wrinkles, the subtlety of skin pores.
But there's a lot of things that
like
we need
the
to
wrinkles
keep
around
in
his
mind.
face,
For example,
and
we cannot really just age.
He just
them
still looks so
as normal
handsome.
People do. He's a hero character.
You're going to see the physical effects of what's happening to Drake. He is an everyman. He doesn't just escape with a laugh. Like, these things are taking its toll.
But I think that humanizes a fictional character even more. You see him maturing not only in age,
I love it.
but in wisdom.
There was the thing about one of the
had this thing right from the beginning.
I'll talk about it. Like, they had a whole discussion on how his chest is so hairy that Neil Druckmann insisted that Nate has a lot of hair on his chest. So one of the female artists was like, if you see a lot of chest hair, that wasn't like my doing. That was straight up from Neil. He wants him like sexy, hairy chest.
Hold on, man. I mean, what are we doing?
And this is the one where like it gets to the root of who is he? What's important to him?
I just can't wait to
that
see
is really why we wanted
how
to
much
tell
we
this
find out about
story, is
Nate.
We wanted to get to the heart of what drives Nathan Drake.
We played with some of the themes of growing up with responsibility in the previous Uncharted's, but
It's gotta have
I think
the
when it
half-tuck
came down
tuck
to
shirt,
it,
though.
it was all about what did Nathan Drake want in his life. He was willing to risk everything for treasure.
But as you get older, you want your life to be worth something more. You want to have an impact.
It's kind of an interesting perspective to see our hero grow up a bit and having to deal with
the drudgery of that
family
scene
and future.
Him being
and
so
not just be
bored
caught
and
up in
his
the
soul
moment
is
of
just dying
finding
sitting at
just
that
a
office.
treasure. He's actually thinking long term and what this might mean for his future.
One of the things I've loved about this from the beginning is the evolution of this family unit.
They are a family.
From an acting standpoint, it's always fun
and
to
I
get
wonder
to
how
play
come Sully wasn't like more close knit to Nate and him and Elena in his whole excursion with this business.
And they fade very quickly, and you have to move on to the next one. So I have quite a fondness and an attachment to Miss Elena Fisher. She starts off super passionate, very gung-ho, I'm all for adventure. And then you see as she gets closer to Nate and as she gets closer to Sullivan, as she gets closer to these dangerous events, we see her not step back, but just become more aware and more cautious, I think, of
she's afraid to
what
lose
an adventure
her family
means and what it might cost.
And I think as we grow older, we actually kind of get a chance to look back at our lives and see what's important to us and how the decisions that we've made have kind of impacted where we're at and maybe where we're going.
That's a very similar journey to Nathan Drake, right? If you look at him in Uncharted 1, here's a guy that makes huge sacrifices as far as his personal
I'm sorry. If I can meet
to
anyone, it would be Neil
achieve
Druckmann. I'm
greatness.
sorry. I just think
And I
he's brilliant.
In a way, we're seeing that happen with
Just to
both
pick
Naughty
his
Dog
brain,
and the Uncharted franchise.
I mean,
in
that's
general.
just gotta be
And as a
insane.
game developer, you know, it's
Working with
this is
him,
hard
like
work.
he's so
Like, people think
creative.
it's like you're here playing games all the time.
So
and
smart, you know?
Sure, that happens every once in a while, but for the most time, this is very hard, grueling work. A lot of times it's long hours, and you make personal sacrifices.
We're taking that
Yeah,
experience.
these people, I
and
mean,
putting
this
it
is
into
not an easy
the
job.
art
It
that
might be a
we're
fun
making,
job, but for the
so
most
that
part,
when
they
you
work their
play
asses off.
Uncharted 4, you're
Look,
going,
he's
"Oh,
drawing
okay,
in
you know, this
the
has more
pores on his
character
face,
depth
people.
to it,
That's
this has more visual
insane.
depth to it. We're trying
What
to
is that
bring
room? That room.
everything as creative people.
Just,
we're
I
experiencing
mean, is
and
that their
funnel that
attic? Is
into
that
the
where?
medium
Is
in
that
which
their
we're working.
house? I want to
Wisdom
know.
comes from experience and time. And Nathan Drake certainly has had enough experiences that lends itself to a lot of wisdom if he's paying attention. It's been one of the most rewarding characters I've ever been handed because from the get-go I was encouraged to put as much of myself into this character
He's
as
awesome
possible.
too. I would love
And,
to meet him too.
It has just been the greatest ride of my life these last 10 years.
You're with this character for years, and you're in this world for years, and you go home on the weekends and you're eating dinner with your family and you're thinking about those characters in that world. and
I
it's
think
such a
about
part
this
of you
this
that
world and these
to
characters
walk
all the
away
time,
is
especially now that Uncharted
very
4 is
hard,
coming out.
as I'm sure it will be at the end of this game.
For me, as a designer for Naughty Dog as a studio, I think that feeling kind of permeates through everything we're doing as a developer, and maybe to a fault. That's like, this is the last
they're
one
obsessed
you're
with
gonna
this
do.
game
This is the
as
last
much
one
as
you're
we
gonna
are
get to make.
obsessed with
Anything that you wanted to have.
They're obsessed with
it has to
making it
go.
perfect.
It has to be there.
And as a group, like we just got closer and tighter together with each game that we've made.
And so over time, we've just gotten we've just learned from our mistakes over and over again. And so I think that kind of sophistication is a big part of growing more mature. And I think players are going to see that in Uncharted 4.
So all we can really do as a team is make something that's really personal to us.
And you know it's going to be awesome.
Use
Because
everything that
they
we've
put
learned in the
everything
past
they've got into this
to
game.
kind of
It's going to
elevate
be
the medium one step further.
perfection.
To
It's going
challenge
to,
ourselves to
I
go
don't know.
into areas that we're uncomfortable with, and we do that with every game.
I mean,
And
they probably
hopefully we
would
come
have
out
to
on the
end
other
it
side
here
with
because
something
I don't
great.
know if they can make it any better than what they've done. Like even when they're shooting at the grains of rice or the bags, and as they're shooting it, it starts to decompress and the cover is now gone, like the more they shoot at it, you just can't stay there forever. That's one of the things that I find so interesting about the combat. And that your enemies don't give up as easily. They're a lot tougher in this game. So like even if you see like the Madagascar gameplay and they have these enemies, they're not easily killed. They're a lot tougher. So even though we have the extras of marking them and we're able to see if they're aware of us or not, kind of like our listening mode like we had for my dogs are going crazy right now. I'm so sorry. So now we have even though we have all those extra, those extra hints and the extra help, it's still it's balanced because now the enemies are harder to kill. So even though it gives us, a little bit of an edge, it's going to be so well balanced. I love that we're going to be riding in the Jeep and that we can drive the Jeep. I think it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to be like the jet skis at all. What do you guys think? What are you looking forward to the most? Are you kind of nervous about the driving mechanic? I know a lot of people were a little upset about oh God, we have to drive this, but it looks like it's going to be, I think the whole point of doing that is just to give us, since it is open world, it's I forget what they called it, wide linear. I think that's the phrase they used. So even though it's going to be wide linear, it's going to be, we have to slow down and really take into consideration all the stuff that is going to be out there for us to see and explore. So having the Jeep is going to be really helpful, I think. And with the winch is going to be so much fun how we're going to be able to traverse. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be a bad part of the gameplay. I think it's only going to enhance it. What do you think? Are you excited about driving the Jeep? I still think we should fly a helicopter, but that's just me. Now I'm asking too much. What do you guys think? I'm really excited for this. Today is day 21. We'll come back again for day 20 tomorrow. We'll talk about the third part of this documentary series, and we'll talk some more about it. So thanks again for watching and subscribing. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. And we'll talk more tomorrow. Hopefully my puppies won't be crying.